What's going on, guys? This is the Kentucky Prime Sports Podcast. My name is Devin Hood, here with Gibb and Burke. We are recording this Friday before the Vanderbilt game tomorrow afternoon, right, boys?
That's right.
Yes, sir.
What do we think about Vandy? Going in, we're going to play that game 2:30 tomorrow at Vanderbilt.
They are better than they have been in past years. I'll say that. Don't know too much about them, but I'd say it'll be a rough game. Not a rough game, a close one.
You think it's going to be a close game?
Yeah.
You know, they the kind of style of basketball they play, it's kind of like the SEC teams we've seen, this point so far in the season. You know, they want to get to the foul line. They want to get your guys in foul trouble. They want to, mess the game up, really grind it out. I think that style of play really plays well for them, especially, potentially against us,
right.
A team that doesn't like fouls.
Yeah.
They're not going to get you in foul trouble.
It's a not very physical team beating Kentucky.
Yep. And, not too long ago, Vanderbilt knocked off Tennessee.
They did, at Tennessee.
Yeah. So, and, that was kind of Vanderbilt's kind of a perfect opponent for Tennessee.
Yep.
Tennessee doesn't have a high-power offense. So if you can slow that game down, make them play your way like Vanderbilt did, there is an opportunity for them to get that win like they did. One thing that's really kind of stuck out, though, is Vanderbilt's closing ability. I'd watched some of that game against Tennessee. At one point they're up, pretty big. Let Tennessee come back, made it close. Same thing when they played South Carolina. Had a big lead in that one as well, let them come back. So I think, if Kentucky's able to get rolling in this game, that'll be a big difference maker.
Yeah, I think if we can just hit our shots and be consistent from the field, I think we'll be all right because they are not going to be able to match us shot for shot like Alabama did.
Yeah, that'll be the big thing. I mean, the kind of offense Kentucky plays, if they come out and they're hitting shots, it's going to be hard for any team in the country to keep up with us. I mean, Alabama, the best offensive team in the country, beat us by 5.
Yeah.
Both of us trading shots back and forth. So, I mean, if you don't have a high-powered offense and Kentucky's on, it's going to be
hard to beat.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night for you.
So, a fun little fact for you. Both Kentucky and Vanderbilt's last loss has been to Alabama. And their last games played was Alabama.
I seen that. What was Vanderbilt, Alabama? What was the final score on that one, Gibb?
103 Alabama, 87 Vandy.
So, I mean, Vandy's cool.
That's a decent amount of points.
Yeah, that's a good amount of points there. What was that game at Vanderbilt or at Alabama? It was at Alabama.
At Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 87 points against Alabama. That's putting up numbers. I could see this game kind of being a similar score, Vanderbilt and Kentucky.
Yeah.
I don't, whenever they played Tennessee, that game was scored in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was more like, the games Kentucky fans had seen in the past with Cal. First one to 70 is going to win that game, or 65 in that case.
Yeah.
What kind of numbers are we looking at for Kentucky Vandy, Gibb?
What numbers you want?
First off, give me the spread.
Spread is -3.5 for Kentucky.
-3.5 for Kentucky. Kentucky's money line.
That just kicked me out. Give me 1 second.
Oh, of course. That's why we're not sponsored by DraftKings. They keep kicking us out.
So Kentucky's the favorite on the money line, -166.
I really figured it'd be a little higher than that. I was expecting with the 3.5, maybe -2, 220.
Yeah, I don't know. It's actually got us fairly tight for what it is. Vandy's only +138.
Really? Huh.
And the total's set at 163.5.
163.5.
So it's like, an 82, 81 game, something like that.
So, yeah, 163.5. So they're thinking, what, Kentucky 85, Vandy 81?
Yeah, that'd hit the over.
Yeah. Or, be right
Yeah.
there at it. I don't think the game's that close. I know, Matthew, you said whenever we started this thing, it's going to be a tight game. What kind of score prediction do you think you're going to give that Vanderbilt and Kentucky game?
If we're hitting our shots consistently and, shooting well from the three-point line, I could probably see it being maybe like 95 to 82, if I had to guess.
95-82. Gibb, what do you think? If you were just going to...
I got a 101-89 Kentucky.
I don't think we break 100 on the road because it's going to be rowdy in there. It's an odd floor to play on. I just can't see us breaking 100 on there.
Yeah, it is a weird play. I'm really excited to see this game. I like watching whenever teams play at Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
that court. I mean, it's just wild.
Which now I know in the past coaches had to coach from the baseline.
Yeah.
Now they make it where the coaches can go on the sideline and coach. So
yeah,
that makes a big difference.
It does make a huge difference. I just love seeing the student section down on the floor.
Yeah,
they're able pounding on the floor, getting rowdy. That makes for an electric environment.
It is a tough environment to go into.
This is a game too that I feel like it's either one extreme or another. Vanderbilt is either pretty good and they play us close, or we beat them by 30. There's never really an in between. I feel like in this game.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I was thinking of something and then I lost my train of thought looking at this Villanova Marquette game.
Villanova Marquette, number 10 team in the country, up 12 points on Villanova. The downfall of Villanova.
Yeah, how far can you fall?
I mean, that was a team that won national championship, went to 2 in a row, right?
Yeah. I
mean,
they hit that big shot against North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then Jay Wright leaves, and it just comes crumbling down.
That just goes to show you how hard it is to be competitive in college basketball every year.
It is.
As far as what I think score-wise for Kentucky Vanderbilt, I think this could be. I think we're not giving Kentucky's defense enough credit here.
It's gotten better.
It has gotten better. They've played teams, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, that like to play, a physical style of basketball. They've, cut out wins in those 2 games. I could see this being like a 98-79, 95-79, something like that.
I could see that, yeah.
I mean, I think it really depends. 2 things. Is Kentucky going to come out and hit their shots? And then, what type of defense are we going to play? Are we going to get rebounds? Or are we going to give them up, let Vanderbilt get a bunch of second chance points? How are we going to be with ball control?
Something else, too, we've had this whole week off because I know Lamont Butler's been dealing with injuries, so is Andrew Carr. So, this week gave them a chance to kind of, heal up and be fully 100% for the game.
Yeah, hopefully those 2 have taken this week to get some well-deserved rest. Lamont Butler, he was hurt head to toe.
Got punched, kicked, stomped,
bit.
Rolled ankles, rolled shoulder.
Yeah, he was having everything you could imagine under the sun wrong with him. And then, like you said, Andrew Carr having the back issues.
Yeah.
I think that's something you've been able to see in game.
Yeah.
He's not looked as mobile as
he looks kind of stiff during the game. Like he just can't hardly move like he wants to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, one thing I want to see is, with this week long of being out and everything, what kind of game plan we come up with, and how, watching film and everything, how Pope, likes to incorporate that, and what challenges he can overcome with it.
For sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd really like to see guys like Jackson Robinson, Otega Owe, and Kobe Bryant just keep shooting. I don't care if you miss 5 times in a row, just keep shooting. They'll eventually start falling.
That was going to lead into my next question, actually. So we all predicted a Kentucky win, various different scores. What do you think? Who do you think MVP is going to be? We'll start with Gibb.
Oh, MVP. If Butler's at 100%, I have him plus 20 points, leading us to victory.
Yeah, I like that. Lamont Butler's been a dog.
He has.
I mean, if Lamont Butler's hitting shots, Jackson Robinson's hitting shots, Kobe Bryant's hitting shots, Otega always getting his 10-plus.
That's a hard team to beat if that's the case.
I mean, that's a team that they're going to score over 100.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think, Burke? Who's going to be your game MVP?
I really want to see a big game out of Jackson Robinson. He showed he can, handle those tough environments at Gonzaga. Really want to see him, light it up from the 3-point line, and really just kind of take control of the situation.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I guess my MVP. I'm gonna say it now. I would like to see Kobe Bryant come out and be Kobe Bryant from earlier in the season. Feels like the last few games he's kind of been in a little slump.
Yeah.
He's been not hitting the threes like we think he should, like we know he can.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to see him come out and have a big game, hit 5 or 6 threes and get really opened up.
And that brings me back to my point. When you miss 5 or so threes, that kind of discourages you from wanting to shoot the rest of the game. You can't be like that. You just got to keep throwing them up. They'll eventually go in.
Yeah, which Kobe Bryant, hats off to him. He has no problem shooting the ball.
No, he has no problem.
He'll let them fly. Like you saying, Jackson Robinson, he's won, last few games, not seen it near as much.
Yeah.
But earlier in the year, if his shots weren't falling, he was getting a little emotional.
Yeah. Him and Amari Williams, I really need to see them better control their emotions, in those tight games. You see Amari, he's hanging his head, throwing his arms up in the ref. I just really need to see him with a better attitude.
Yeah.
One thing I would want to see with Brea is I want to see him be able to get off the guard and everything, get around ball screens, and get that open look.
Yeah.
Because he's just been locked down, and that's why he's throwing up some halfway questionable shots or halfway guarded shots, and whatever. Beginning of the season, man was wide open.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, he's actually about it. Let's make sure to keep a body on him at all times.
Yeah, he's not doing as good of a job in the last few games as getting open.
Yeah.
He's coming off screens, and then his guy's right there on his hip. He's moving around a good amount, but he's just not. I think that comes back to just the athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to beat your man off that screen. I just don't think he's been able to do it the last few games. But we've seen, the competition has really stepped up in the SEC.
It's only going to get harder.
Yeah, they're going to play you tight. And especially like Gibbs said, once they figured out, hey, this guy can light us up and go 7 or 9 from 3, we need to keep a guy on him, which, helps the other shooters on the team.
Yeah.
If Kobe Bryant is getting, double teamed or, he's coming off screens fighting hard and they stop the ball, that's just going to open up Jackson Robinson, Otega Oweh.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, too, about Otega, at the beginning of the year, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like he was shooting a lot more.
I feel like he was doing a lot better from 3-point range than what he's been showing. I don't remember the last time he's hit a 3.
Yeah, I feel like at the beginning of the year, he was a shooter.
Yeah.
But now, he'll get an open look and he'll either pass it up or drive in.
And like I said, I think he's almost scared to shoot because he's afraid he's going to miss.
Yeah. Which, I don't, his ability to become a slasher this year has really grown since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just trying to work on that part of his game. And if he can get that going, and then we have the outside shooting capabilities that we do, that'd be a deadly combination.
Yeah.
But
it helps when you got guys like Jackson Robinson and Kobe Bryant behind you. So if you drive the lane and you got nothing, you can kick it to one of the wings and have a secondary option.
Yeah, for sure. Lamont Butler's done a great job at, like you said, driving into the lane, kicking out. There is times he gets blocked.
Yeah.
I think if Lamont Butler was 6'5",
a couple more.
He's in the NBA 2 years ago, probably. But he's one that 3-point shot he's not scared to take either.
No, he's not, and I like to see that from a point guard.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if they're going to sag off of him like that. I feel like, some games he kind of gets the severe Wheeler treatment. They're like, go ahead and shoot it.
Yeah.
But, he's made...
He can knock him down.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a lot better shooter than Severe Wheeler ever.
Wheeler was not good from the 3-point line.
No, he's I would love to know what he's doing these days.
Is he still at Washington? Or is he done?
He's got to be done, right?
I don't know. They got 30-year-olds playing in college now, so he might still be playing.
Right, yeah. Is Keon still at Washington?
He's got to be, because he was younger. He might be
He
a
played
senior.
in Kentucky for
2 years.
2 years or 3 years?
Was it 2 or 3?
I don't know. We'll look that up. We'll talk about that later. But, I think we all agree Kentucky probably gets the win Saturday against Vanderbilt, which that leads us to Tuesday's game. Tuesday, Kentucky's taking on the Tennessee Volunteers at Food City Arena. Is that what it is? Food City, or it's some kind of grocery store. I'm pretty sure it's Food City is who they've partnered with for that. Can't really talk a lot of crap about that. We got Kroger Field.
Yeah.
And then we've got Central Bank at Rupp Arena.
I wish they'd go back to Commonwealth Stadium and just regular old Rupp Arena.
Yeah, well, so this says Thompson Bowling, but I feel like I'm pretty sure Food City's their sponsor.
Probably. Just like Central Bank's is Rupp Arenas.
Yeah. Food City Arena. Yes, Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. So, I mean, like you said, that's like our central break at Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
On K Woods Court.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, there's so many names for all these stadiums.
Just go back to Rupp Arena.
Yeah, it's something.
I get it. They're trying to get a check from doing all that, but have some pride.
Yeah.
Have some pride.
Which, I mean, speaking of getting a check, if anybody wants to cut us a check, we could probably do the, Food City at Kentucky Prime Network.
Hey, we're all about
podcast.
sponsorships.
Yeah, we take that.
All about them sponsorships.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Yep.
Bad for you, all good for us.
That's right.
But, so now, anyway, Kentucky taking on Tennessee Tuesday. What time's that game, Gib? 7?
7 p.m.
7 p.m., so a little later tip-off. That'll be a game runs, 7 to 9:30 roughly.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about that game?
I think it's a little bit different outcome on this game. I still think Kentucky could go down there and get the win. And just like Vanderbilt, they got to go down there and hit their shots.
Yeah.
Because, Tennessee is not a really high-efficient offense.
Right.
They got tremendous defense, which I think is really going to get us a struggle. But we can go down there and hit our shots and play decent defense. I think we can come out there with a win.
Yeah. Yeah, this game will be really telling to see how far, the team has come since the season started.
Yeah.
This will be a good, you get those games where it's like, hey, this is going to be a good gauge
to
see where we're at.
If we play Tennessee back for whatever reason in, December, we're getting run out of there, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Just because our defense back then was just so bad, we couldn't compete with anybody in the SEC. But you're slowly seeing some improvement on the defensive end on Kentucky's team.
Yeah, I agree with that. We probably won't do predictions on that game. We are a little early. They've not released lines yet for Tuesday's game.
We'll give you the matchup predictor that ESPN has for it. Not the greatest look.
Okay, before you say it, what do you think ESPN matchup predictor is, Bert? At Tennessee.
At Tennessee, I say they give Tennessee a 60% chance to win.
I'm going to say 80.
77.5%.
77.5. I figured it'd be high.
That game, it's going to really depend on our second chance points and how well we out-rebound them.
Yeah, rebounding is going to be huge in that game. Which, rebounding, that's one thing they've gotten better at.
It's gotten a lot better.
I heard a stat the other day that Amari Williams is one of the most efficient rebounders in the country. Personally, I didn't think it, but as they're talking about this...
You wouldn't think it by watching him.
But, they look at it, the percentage of rebounds that he grabs versus what he should grab.
Right.
I don't know how they dictate that stat. If it's in a certain feet distance from you, maybe that's how they get that. But, he has a crazy efficient number. I want to say somewhere in the 80s.
Yes, I knew he was top guy in the country.
Yeah, and so that makes you wonder. I don't know, did they have that stat whenever Oscar was around? He had to be...
If they did, he would have been number 1, too. So.
Had to be damn near at 100%, right?
It had to be.
He grabbed rebounds that were nowhere...
20-plus rebounds every night was, common for him.
Yeah. He did that all day. And what's crazy is he's still doing it in the G League.
He is. He's dominating the boards in the G League.
Yeah. I seen, just the other night, I'm going to say he had like a 20-20 game. 20 points, 20 rebounds again. That was one thing, too. Everybody's talking about how his game doesn't translate to the NBA. How does a guy grabbing 20 rebounds not...
As small as he is compared to other bigs in the league, too.
Yeah, what is it, 6'9"?
He's not even...
6'8", 6'9", max.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that dude was a force. But yeah, apparently Amari Williams is a better statistical rebounder than, Oscar.
Yeah.
So one thing that does partially worry me more about the Tennessee game is they're playing Auburn at Auburn Saturday. Tomorrow. So they're either coming in with a full head of steam
or they're pissed.
Or they're coming for a revenge game. So either way,
it's not a good place.
There's going to be an extra environment, an extra atmosphere in there that's just going to make it that much harder to come out victorious.
Since you bring that up, what would you prefer happen Saturday for Tennessee? Would you rather them get, just beat by 20? Would you rather them lose a close one, or would you rather them win?
I'd rather them win a close one.
Win a close one?
So they think, okay, we still got it. We took down number 1.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of off their guard a little bit. They start getting a little complacent.
Yeah. I don't want them to get beat by 20, and I don't want them to win by 20.
No.
Either way, I want it to be a close game.
Yeah, because if you get them beat by 20, they're coming in with some massive revenge.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to hang numbers, and then if they beat Auburn by 20, I mean their confidence is just going to skyrocket.
Which that also might.
Maybe that plays well.
I would say it might be a downfall for them, but if you beat Auburn by 20, then
you might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Which speaking of Auburn, Johnny Broom, I always thought his name was Johnny.
Jonah?
Yeah, whatever they're calling him these days.
Jonah Broom?
Whenever he was at Morehead State, he was Johnny. Can't tell me otherwise. But apparently he is practicing. He's not officially been ruled out for Saturday's game against Tennessee. He's going to be a game-time decision. That's a dude that, I mean, he was good when Bruce Pearl picked him up. I didn't expect him to take this big of a jump.
Oh, he's the best player in college basketball, for sure. No questions asked. And
that just goes to show, you don't always have to leave and try the NBA.
Yeah.
You can play yourself into a better position.
It's being more and more common that we're seeing guys come back for their junior, senior, and fifth-year, senior years.
Yeah.
That are just dominating these freshmen, and they're just bigger guys.
Yeah, like Zach Edey.
Yeah.
If he would not have went to the NBA except for that 1 year that he went. Matthew said that Johnny Broom's the best player in college basketball, and we got Austin here showing a picture of Cooper Flagg. Oh, don't forget he's 17.
He's a child.
He's 17. I mean, the offense runs through Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
If you give me the ball 20 times a game, I'm probably going to do all right too. And if I'm 6'9" and a freak athlete,
this world's going to find a nut.
See,
I mean, that makes a difference, right?
It's a description of the best player.
Yeah. Let's give him the ball every time. Yeah, he's probably the best player.
I mean, if I was the best player on my team, I'd be the best player on my team, right?
Yeah.
Is that how that plays out?
I think that's how the math checks out.
I mean, I guess it does. I don't know. Everybody's talking about Duke being... I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good. But let's not forget November. Kentucky Wildcats.
A very bad defensive Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah. Kind of put it to them.
We did.
Second half, I mean, it was all Kentucky. And then, Otega Owe getting the pick.
Brilliant coaching by Mark Pope.
Excellent. Watch the spin. He's going to spin.
He knew he was going to do it.
Otega Owe goes in there, just snatches it.
He's like, that's mine. I'll take that.
Coming back down the floor, Amari Williams, big defensive stop.
Oh, yeah. The baseball pass by, who was it?
Kobe Bray.
Kobe Bray.
Oh, my gosh. What a time. I mean, that feels like so long ago.
The amount of joy I got from that win was undescribable.
Yeah. And, I hate to bring it up, but it's kind of the talk of the college basketball world right now. Arkansas gets their first win the other night against a bad, well, not bad,
I said we can't say they're bad.
Really good Georgia team. I was thinking South Carolina for some reason. But, they get the big win against Georgia. What do we think about that?
It was not a very big win. Well, it was, but it wasn't a substantial win. They only won by 3 points.
They won by 3.
And 2 of those points was on a dude missing a free throw on purpose. And
cleaning it up himself.
Yeah,
nobody boxed out. I don't know why Georgia decided they were going to stop boxing out and playing basketball against Arkansas and not us.
They was up like 12 or 15 at the end of the end of the first half, and they just kind of just stopped playing, basically.
I had a mean parlay cooked up that night, too. I had Florida winning. I had Georgia winning. I had Ole Miss winning. Kansas winning. And somebody else. And then I had a couple NFL games thrown in there. I mean, it was looking good. I had a cash out for like $50 because at one point Georgia's up 31-19.
Yeah, something like that.
Ole Miss is up on Texas A&M. Now they're playing on the road. I go to bed. I'm like, this is a lock. All I got to do is wait till Sunday when Josh Allen plays. I wake up the next morning. I open up FanDuel.
And
I go to my bets, and it says, there's nothing here. I'm like, where'd it go? I go to settle.
No.
Ole Miss loses by 1 point.
Oh.
And freaking Arkansas beats Georgia by 3.
Those are the ones that make you sick.
I was like, if I'd have known that, I just took my $50. I mean, I'd have took my bones and went home.
I thought Georgia was going to be able to close it out, They showed that they can close out those big games. They did against us. Right?
Yeah, I mean...
Like I said, that may have been the one Cal just sneaks away with this year.
Right. I definitely misspoke earlier when I said bad. I was thinking about South Carolina, but a good Georgia team.
They're a decent team.
Yeah.
They were ranked last week and lost to, I think, what was it? Tennessee maybe. Anyways, they lost a higher end team.
Yeah.
And dropped out of the top 25, but they're still right on that line there.
Yeah, they've got a big game coming up this weekend. They're playing Florida.
They can win that one.
That's going to be the Mike White revenge game.
Oh yeah.
Going back to Florida.
Oh yeah.
That was a move whenever he left Florida to go to Georgia. I didn't understand why Georgia hired him because he was, very, very mid at Florida.
Yeah.
And I thought Georgia at that point was accepting being terrible at basketball.
Yeah.
But they've obviously turned it around. Got Samoto Surreal, big recruit. He was one time, Kentucky commit.
Yeah.
But so obviously he's doing something right there that he couldn't do at Florida.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's getting it done.
Yeah, he's doing something. And real quick, talking about the state of Florida, our old pal buddy Liam Cohen has scored his fourth team in the last 5 years.
Liam Cohen strikes again.
Yeah, Liam Cohen strikes again, leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator position open to take the head coaching job of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He was kind of playing with Tampa Bay for a little bit. At first he's saying, well, I'm going to entertain this head coaching job. And then
he turned. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. If you all heard all the saga behind this.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it, honestly.
So he interviews, he tells Tampa Bay, hey, they're going to interview me for the job. I'm going to talk to them. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And he goes up there, interviews, and he's like, I don't think this is for me right now. I don't want it. I don't really like the GM.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good fit. I'm going back to Tampa Bay. Tells Tampa Bay that he's coming back. Jacksonville fires their GM because Liam Cohen said so. They call him up and is like, hey, buddy, you can pick the GM.
Oh.
We'll let you bring in whoever you want. He flies back up to Jacksonville, does not tell Tampa Bay. I'm not, don't know spreading rumors or whatnot. Apparently he's telling Tampa Bay that he's in the hospital with his child while he's at Jacksonville's
that's
facilities.
That's true. That is so messed up.
His wife put on Twitter, she was like, it's crazy the media talking about our sick child. Like,
is he actually sick?
Is he actually sick? Because you're in Jacksonville at the facilities. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's a hospital in Tampa.
They might have better medical facilities in Jacksonville.
And then not even 4 hours later, he's announced as the Jacksonville's head coach. And apparently, this whole thing got out because he had told Tampa Bay he's going to sign an extension, and he ghosted them. They're calling him up. They're like, Liam, are you going to come to work and sign your extension?
They were going to make him the highest paid non-head coach in all of football. And he turned that down to go coach Jacksonville.
Yeah. But, apparently they're calling him up. Hey, are you going to come in today and sign this? No call, no show. Wait till Wednesday. Hey, are you going to come in and sign this? Didn't hear a word. So Tampa Bay went out to the media and was like, hey, we've not heard from Liam Cohen.
Y'all know where he is? Where's he at?
Yeah. And turns out he's in Jacksonville at the quote-unquote hospital.
That's wild.
I don't know if he's checking out maybe their medical facilities in Jacksonville.
If that's true, shame on him for making a lie about his kid being in the hospital. That's all kinds of messed up.
Or did he hey, we need to go to the hospital. Let's just go to Jacksonville on the way, swing by, see what they got to say. But
they could have been mad about the wait times and just hopped on a jet and went up to Jacksonville. And then it's like, hey, we can see you right now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, honey, while you're doing that, I'm going to go talk to these guys again.
Yeah. Let me know if anything changes. I'm just going to swing by the office real quick.
Yeah, while we're here.
Yeah. It'd be dumb of me not to talk to him, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, absolutely, you go. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I just hope he took the team jet.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That would be funny.
What a dirty dog. Liam Cohen is... the problem is, I was thinking about it today, I hope he hears this. He never will. He's a northerner.
He is.
He is a Yankee.
Yep.
You know who wouldn't do that? Anybody from the South.
Anybody.
We're going to tell you, hey, boss, we got a job interview.
We got a job interview. I'm going to be straight up with you.
It's Southern hospitality.
Yeah. He's a daggone northerner. And he doesn't care. He's just getting money.
Where's he from?
I want to say Connecticut, Maine area, somewhere.
Oh, everybody's just a
dirty
dogs
dirty
up there.
dogs.
Dan Hurley, look, you see how he acts. The best coach in the sport.
I'm gonna Google Liam Cohen, and of course, all this is gonna pop up. He's from Rhode Island.
Oh, that's even
Same
worse.
thing.
That's
It's all
even
the
worse.
same.
Is that even a state?
The only people I know from Rhode Island are the Griffins from Family Guy. Nobody lives in Rhode Island.
And apparently neither is Liam Cohen.
Nah,
He likes Florida, apparently. Maybe he just likes the warm.
maybe.
We gave him a good opportunity here at Kentucky. He did leave the Rams in L.A., so it's like, okay, well, whenever he decided he was going back, he's getting an opportunity to be the offensive coordinator, in title only.
What made that situation so crappy was he looked Mark Stoops in the eye and said, I want to plant my roots in Lexington. I want to raise my kids here.
And that was the first time he left.
Yeah.
He was sold the first time he left. He's like, I want to live here.
Yes.
There was a potential alternate universe where Liam Cohen is the head coach at Kentucky. It's kind of like what we were getting led to believe.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's going to be the offensive coordinator. Mark Stoops is going to hand the reins off, and this is going to be our guy. Obviously, he leaves after one season, but he goes back to the Rams.
Yeah.
So, Kentucky fans were like, we can't be too mad.
No.
He's going back to the team that he, started at in the NFL. He's getting the offensive coordinator position with Sean McVay. And then, we obviously get Rich Cangarello. That whole experiment sucks. Comes back to Kentucky. Tells Mark Stoops, I'm going to be here 2 years minimum. I'll be here at least 2 years. And what does he do, Gib?
He's gone.
He packs bags after 1 year again to go to Tampa Bay.
Leaves us hanging.
Goes to Tampa Bay. Has a great season. Baker Mayfield looks awesome.
They make the playoffs.
They make the playoffs. He has Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield. They got a nice young core, nice experienced veterans. Nope, I'm going to go. Can we confirm if Trevor Lawrence is alive? I think
We
he's
haven't
been
heard
dead
from him. He might be
since
dead.
week 14 or whatever. Does he have a quarterback in Jacksonville?
I think he's hoping he just
I
comes back.
think they might be looking to get a new one.
Are
Which,
they?
if Tua's still playing, then surely Trevor Lawrence
Tua
is still alive.
Tua should call quits.
He may be dead too.
His brain's got to be scrambled eggs by this point.
But, honestly, Tampa Bay shouldn't be too mad. They saw his his past. They saw what he does.
They had to know that was a potential outcome. They had to.
Yeah. I just wonder, it's Jacksonville. Things are going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
How long does he get? What type of leeway does he get? And when that is up, when he gets fired, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when.
Yeah.
Because, when was the last time Jacksonville was good? They
Great
had
question.
that one crazy season that year that they beat Brady.
Was it Blake Bortles was the quarterback?
Yeah. And, they weren't even good
No,
that year. They got lucky.
Yeah.
And then they've never been a good football team. So when he gets fired, what happens to Liam Cohen?
Well, I say a lot of coaches aren't going to have to deal with him.
No, you're not going to get it.
After the way he, kind of screwed Tampa Bay.
Everybody.
And Tampa Bay and Kentucky.
Yeah.
No.
He's, I don't know if you would say he screwed the Rams. But
I think he kind of gave him a heads up, hey, I will probably be taking this job at Kentucky. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I'm talking about the second time whenever he came back to Kentucky.
Oh.
Part two.
Yeah, part two.
Oh, no.
Which, he was offensive coordinator in title only. That's Sean McVay's team.
Yeah.
But, he goes to the Rams, goes to Kentucky, goes to the Rams, goes to Kentucky, goes to Tampa Bay, goes to Jacksonville. Brother. Job hopping. That's a thing.
Damn Northerners.
Yeah, that's what it is, Yankee.
No
good Yankees.
Did he get a pay raise every time? Because if so, don't blame him.
I don't know. I'm sure he did. I'm curious to see what his contract is for this head coaching job at Jacksonville. Because, like you said, they had already said they're going to make him the highest paid non-head coach in the NFL.
Yeah. That's good money.
That's good money. You've got a lot better team
in
Tampa Bay than you're going to have in Jacksonville. Or is he just going to break his own contract after next season and go somewhere else? Maybe his kid needs to go to the hospital in Minnesota.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't think he knows.
If he's done
He
it twice already, what's stopping him from doing it 3 or 4 more times?
Yeah, that's my only thing is like, at what point are people going to be like, well, you're great offensive mind, great football mind,
But you can't stick
but
around.
I'm not going to have you longer than a year.
Yeah, why would I hire you if you're not going to stick around?
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
We got old Bush Hamden. My biggest regret about Bush is I wish he'd have brought Ashton Genty with him.
Yeah. He kind of had a bad deck. His first year here, he had Liam Cohen's guys playing for him.
Yeah.
Didn't really have the guys that really fit his play style offense. So I'm kind of hoping, for a better outcome this year. Now he's going to be able to go out and get hit the kind of guys he wants.
What if, crazy conspiracy theory here, Liam Cohen actually hates Kentucky? Knew Brock Vandergrift was a bum and just set us up for failure.
That or
no disrespect, Brock.
But he was a bum.
But, yeah, what if this whole time he was actually like, we're going to get this backup from Georgia, and y'all are going to see what I'm about.
He knew all this was happening. He was just sitting in the corner, rubbing his hands together, had that evil laugh, saying, I'm going to mess up Kentucky before I leave here.
And he did. He did it twice. He ruined Will Levis's second year.
That's facts.
Rich Gangarello did him no favors whatsoever. If we would have had Will Levis and Liam Cohen year 2, I think
there's a high ceiling there.
That would have looked a lot better. Then he comes back. He gets Devin Leary for a year. That experiment wasn't good. And then on his way out, hey, you want Brock Vandergrift? Yeah, and that says it all. Has anybody got any other things they want to talk about tonight for the Kentucky Prime Sports Podcast?
Missed out on a huge recruit last night at 1:30 in the morning. Caleb Wilson.
Did anybody stay up and watch that?
I did not. I was lights out by 10 o'clock last night.
No. That was one that was weird. Apparently, leaned Kentucky for, almost a year?
From September to middle of January.
Yeah. Everybody thought Kentucky was getting him. Last few weeks it's been, hey, maybe we're not.
Yeah.
And then the last week or so it's been, hey, he's going to North Carolina. I personally don't think that's as big of a deal as everybody seems to be making it out to be.
No. Because I think what ultimately came down to it was, Kentucky made a really good NIL offer, so did North Carolina. But North Carolina was almost guaranteeing him a starting position next year, whereas Pope was not really going to guarantee him that because, he might go in the portal and find somebody older, more experienced, maybe possibly better.
Yeah.
But I think his main goal is to be the man down in North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too upset. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't want the guy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good ball player.
He would have been an asset for sure.
But I don't think it's as big of a deal because, I think all of us Kentucky fans are programmed to think we have to get the best guys to have a team.
Yeah.
And, we've seen this year, Pope put together a team in 6 weeks of guys from the secondary transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even get hired on the big wave of the portal.
Yeah.
He got hired. Portal was already open.
Yeah.
People had already committed. He had, slim pickings out there. So, we don't have to have every single 5-star freshman that's coming into college basketball.
Until Mark Pope gives me a reason to doubt him, I'm not going to doubt him.
No, I think, there's a better opportunity, like you said, go to the transfer portal, get somebody, has more playing time under their belt.
Yeah.
Pair them with the freshmen we have coming in. Pair them with the guys we're going to have, hopefully return. I think that's the team that all of us have been talking about for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Is get some good freshmen, have some of these guys stay and not leave for the draft, and then get some portal guys. That's a team that, we've seen make the national championship time and time again since this portal thing started.
A team full of one-and-dones is not going to win you a national championship. Yeah, it did with us back in 2012, but...
We had, the best player that had come through college basketball in the last how many years?
Yeah, with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
But, times have changed. Guys are staying longer. They can make money now in college. They're getting that more experience. They're getting that better play style. They're able to, come back and win these national championships for these schools that you wouldn't normally see in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that completely. What we got, Austin?
Speaking of recruits, oddly enough, I watched a documentary about Kentucky basketball. Who would you say? Do y'all know who the highest rated recruit y'all have ever had is?
Give me a time frame here. I think I have it in my head. Is it with Cal?
Yeah.
Nerlens Noel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
He was he a 100 overall?
He was .9998.
I know he was like the number one recruit in his class.
Yeah, he was.
It's insane though. I mean, with Karl Towns, John Wall, I'd even put Bledsoe over him. Davis, obviously.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Nerlens Noel. Whenever Nerlens committed, I mean, he was supposed to be Anthony Davis, but on steroids.
Yeah,
is what
that's what everybody was saying.
But he did get hurt.
He did get hurt.
Towards ACL.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he was like that.
He played 2 years competitively in the league.
Yeah, and everybody talked, and this is kind of one of those things you just kind of remember it how it was as you look back on it. But everybody talks about him being such a great shot blocker. I don't remember that.
No.
If you look back at his stats, I mean, he was blocking a lot of shots, but I don't remember him being that efficient.
I think he was blocking 3.8 a game.
Yeah, which I mean that's good.
Pretty unheard of.
Yeah,
but
he had one game where he went crazy, but. I mean, I would rather have Anthony Davis in college over Nerlens. Even you give Nerlens a full healthy season, I'm still taking Anthony Davis.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, I'm probably still taking Karl Anthony Towns. Honestly.
For sure.
Do y'all remember how Nerlens committed? He was on ESPN, turned around, had the UK logo cut into his hair,
cornball.
You remember he had the because Anthony Davis was fear of the brow.
Yeah.
And then the next year with Nerlens was fear of the flat top.
Yeah.
The box cut.
Yep.
Juice box.
See, that team was Ryan Harrow, Archie Goodwin,
Nerlens, Alex Poythress,
Robert Morris.
Robert Morris. He was a pretty good ball player.
Yeah. Who was the last guy on that team?
Kyle Wiltshire was still on that
Kyle
team.
Wiltshire, yeah. That's the name I forget.
That was one that was the year
we
we didn't make the tournament, went to the NIT, got beat by Robert Morris, and then he transfers to Gonzaga.
Little did we know.
Say it, my lawnmower would outrun Kyle Wiltshire.
Yeah, it was.
But your lawnmower can't bang threes like Kyle Wiltshire.
It can't, but it sure can go faster.
That's a dude under Pope's system.
That would thrive.
He's going to eat. Yeah, Kyle
Big
Wiltshire.
guy that can spread the floor, knock down shots.
Yeah, he's a guy that I would like to have seen play in a system like this.
Wonder what he's up to nowadays.
Flipping burgers.
No, he's not. I think he plays overseas.
No.
You'll hear something about him every now and then.
I thought he'd be like an accountant or something.
No, I think he is still playing ball. Lithuania or somewhere. Yeah, that was a wild. What documentary were you watching?
That was just on YouTube. It was a top 10 Kentucky prospects of all time.
Okay.
Under Cal. Under Cal.
Yeah.
Which I assume is all time, though.
Jody Meeks is up there low key,
Jody
right?
Meeks, Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah.
That's the thing, too. Like, looking back, you forget, Tubby Smith kind of gets a bad rap because of how the later years went. But, I mean, he was recruiting well, too.
Yeah.
At least a couple, top tier.
Yeah, he was getting good guys. Rick Pitino, obviously he had Tony Delt.
Mark Pope.
Hey, Mark Pope was freshman of the year in the Pac-10 at the time, playing with Washington State.
That tells you how long ago that was.
Yeah. They're Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-2. How the mighty have fallen.
Crazy. Speaking of Jody Meeks, though.
54 points against Tennessee.
Yeah. What was his NBA career like?
He played for the Lakers for quite a while.
Pistons, right?
I thought it was Pistons.
He played for the Pistons, yeah.
He played for the Lakers at some point.
Yeah,
I don't really... I mean, that was a long time ago. I don't really remember. I do know Tayshaun Prince obviously had a very successful
NBA
career.
He played for the Pistons. He played with Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace.
Yeah, he played for... Dude, he played
for a while.
Yeah.
Years. He was an absolute menace on 2K6.
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was Rondo?
Rondo.
Around that time.
Yeah.
Had a long NBA career.
Rondo's nice.
Several championships with
Yeah,
Boston and LA.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what you're going to see Kentucky get back to, is take these good facilitating guys that can play ball longer than just a year.
Yeah.
I like that better anyway.
I do too. I mean, it's fun watching, Nerlens Noel and Anthony Davis and John Wall, but that is not going to work in college basketball anymore.
No, it's not. It's not winning championships.
Yeah.
No. I mean, what it gets you is 1-6 or 1-5 in the SEC.
Yeah.
And then your star player gets hurt with a broken hand, quote unquote. What, y'all think Boogie Fland's hands broke?
No way.
He's sitting out because he's like, I'm about to lose draft spots at this. Arkansas sucks. I hate it here. I'm sitting out for the draft is what I think's happening.
You know, you get freshmen, you don't get that level of maturity these older guys have.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it at Kentucky. You know, we were talking about it earlier. Shaden Sharp. Shaden Sharp commits to Kentucky. They talk about playing him. They talk about sitting him. They talk about him coming back and never plays for Kentucky, never steps on the court, and then gets drafted.
And he's actually doing really good this season.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Past two, didn't really do too much, but I think he's averaging about 20 this year.
Yeah.
He was actually on the list I was talking about. I think he was.
He was.
What would you rank him out of 10?
He was probably third or fourth.
Yeah, I think he was third.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was very highly touted coming out of high school or whatever prep school or wherever he was at. Nerlens Noel won. Who was two? Was it
Wall or Davis?
I'm wanting to say it was John Wall.
John Wall, and then Shaden Sharp.
And then I think Davis was 4.
Yeah, Anthony Davis. He was a highly rated recruit, but he wasn't.
He wasn't number one, I don't think.
Well,
No.
he was number. I think he was number one
in his class. Yeah.
Yeah, in his class, but he
For
wasn't. Sure. They didn't expect him to be as good as he was.
Yeah.
No.
Because of his body frame.
Right.
They thought he was too small. Or too skinny.
Yeah. Proved them wrong.
He's just made of glass bones and paper skin, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That didn't start until after he won a championship, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. When he's playing in the league,
yeah, he's good.
He's very good, but
let's not forget who Kentucky beat
this
in that
year.
Final Four too.
No, that's fine. What happened in Dynasty?
We played Syracuse. Syracuse in the Final Four.
Yeah, those orange
With
uniforms.
the orange jerseys. Those were terrible.
Those
I'm so
are
glad
awful.
y'all don't wear those.
The infrareds.
You mean the orange?
They were orange.
The infrareds.
They were orange.
So
Dude,
Syracuse
those things were
orange.
clean.
They were not.
No.
They were clean.
But
So
no,
Peter Aaron Harrison stepped out of bounds. They didn't call it.
First of all, he didn't step out.
Oh,
of
it
bounds.
is. Oh, okay.
No. I mean the GOAT, Aaron Harrison.
ISIS.
The goat
The
Pushed
GOAT.
out of his own team. It was above the
Crazy.
NBA.
Yeah.
GOAT.
Didn't make it.
Aaron Harrison, whenever we were in high school, retweeted one of my tweets. Fun fact of the day.
That's like an average McDonald's worker retweeting.
Yeah.
At the time, he was the hottest thing in the state. He had just hit all those buzzer beaters, March Madness.
2 months later,
and
he's nobody.
well, so it was during the hot period, and it's funny because they were selling jerseys at Walmart, and it was a Kentucky jersey, had number 2 on the back of it, but obviously his name wasn't on it, no NIL or nothing. So I took a picture of it, and I was like, I don't remember what I said, but he retweeted it.
He said, "Yeah, you can find my merch at Walmart."
They sell Louisville stuff at Walmart too. I don't want to hear it.
Only the
That's
upscale
in the toilet
Walmart.
paper aisle, isn't it?
Yeah. They try to sell it at Target too.
Try.
Yeah. Speaking of Target, worst place ever.
Oh, I hate going to Target.
Yeah,
Everybody talks about it. It's so great, but
it's
I feel like every time I go, it gets worse and worse. Me and my wife actually made a pact. We're never going again.
I went like 3 days ago.
The closest, and maybe it's just because the closest one is E-Town, and it's just terrible.
Yeah.
That's your problem, E-Town.
We had
The city of E-Town, if you're listening,
mid.
do something.
Do
mid.
better.
Work on your ball, dude.
Do better.
Yeah. Dude, have you all been to the mall lately?
It's
Bro,
ghost
I
town.
went.
Terrible.
I went like 3 years ago.
It's turning into a Malibu
Yeah.
Jacks.
That's not good.
No,
I think
just-
like
just
most of the
Sears.
mall
Just
is just a
Sears.
Malibu Jacks.
But I went just the other day because I was looking for Benson's shoes, and you know how you used to be able to walk into JCPenney's, go into the mall.
Mhm.
No, they've got it all blocked off.
Yeah. It's just big empty space
They're
with like a
redoing
row
it,
of
aren't they?
fences you walk through.
They're trying to make it nice.
I don't know what they're doing.
They're not.
I've
trying
seen
very
a
hard.
picture of like their final plan, and it actually does look really nice, but it's still E-Town Mall.
It's still going to be an E-Town.
Towny Mall.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're going to end the Kentucky Prime Sports podcast right there.
Sorry, E-Town.
Not really. This
Rest in peace, E-Town.
this is going to be the kind of conversations we get as we move into the off season. Our Prime Picks podcast is going to be more of this. Obviously, we're doing a little Wayne bracket as well. So if you want more of this kind of conversation, make sure you tune into the Prime Picks podcast as well. Appreciate everybody listening. Hope you all have a good night.
Go Cats.